Let's hear from the Foreign Secretary. This is David Lammy speaking just over an hour ago. His response to what has happened in India.
My thoughts, and I'm sure those of the entire House, are with those who've been affected by the tragic plane crash in India this morning. We know that British nationals were on board, and Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that the FCDO is working urgently with local authorities to support British nationals and their families, and has stood up a crisis team in both Delhi and in London.
That's the latest from the Foreign Secretary. As you heard, every world leader at the moment seems to be making very similar statements about condolences and the like, and to cite the comments of the police chief, it would be unlikely if there were any survivors of this. They've said that at least 200 people they believe have died, but of course they are still looking, and it's the very grim reality by nature of this for people in that wreckage. There will be people, not just those that were on the plane, 242 on board, but those on the ground as well. This crashed into a heavily residential area. It was a fairly dense area too. We know that of the 242 people, 169 were Indian nationals on that flight. There were 53 Brits on that flight as well, 7 Portuguese nationals and a Canadian as well. This is according to Air India reports. We've seen, and you can see if you're watching this in pictures on our feed, it is a scene of absolute chaos and utter devastation, but does appear that the emergency services are putting into action that plan you hope you never have to, and doing their best to establish if anybody could have survived this, be they from the plane or from the ground. It would be unlikely. The plane had only just taken off. A mayday signal after about a minute was sounded. It was only about 650 feet in the air, which is, I mean, literally in aeronautical terms, that is just after taking off, and then came back down, initially looking as if it was returning to land in a fairly smooth fashion. But of course the problem, if an aircraft is compromised in whatever way, some kind of engine issue, whatever it happened to be, it's all very well that a skilled pilot might be able to bring a plane back down to ground with a heavy bump and some casualties, but almost impossible that they could do that unless there was some kind of area to land in. In the absence of that, there are almost no choices, it seems. Let's go then live to Ahmedabad on the ground and find out a little more. Sonal Anand-Khat, Associate Editor at TV13, is with us. Sonal, good afternoon to you. We know this is devastation. We know the police have said it is unlikely anybody has survived.
Yes, I am in Ahmedabad. We are at Ahmedabad right now, and I'm at the post-mortem room. I will show you the current situation of the post-mortem room. You can see what kind of people see the old relatives of the survivors, or they all are here since morning, and everybody is looking for the relatives. Particularly if we talk about the flights, it was Indian Airlines and 242 passengers were on board, and this is the current situation is at the post-mortem room. And see the situation, all police forces here, and today this Chief Minister Bhupenji Patel was arranged immediate meeting at the civil hospital, and they have given some actions they have taken. They have appointed 4 IAS officers for the immediate at the civil hospital to look after the all patients and everything. All this. See, this is the post-mortem room, and we are at the post-mortem room. All dead bodies are coming over here since morning, and there was a blast when that flight was crashed. It was crashed on the hostel room of the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital. Doctor's hostel was there, and also some staff matters were also there. So so many people are injured, and officially and officially by Gujarat government, we have received the figure that only 50 patients, right now only 50 patients are in the civil hospital. They are under observation, and there is no any officially that till we are receiving any data from the government, but we have received that 50 passengers who are injured in this incident, they are still in the hospital.
Indeed. So it would be
within the.
Sonal,
Yes.
I was just going to say it would be unlikely that anybody would survive a plane crash, but there will be other casualties from where this plane crashed into. This was a heavy populated area.
Yes, it was populated area. It was just nearby the airport. The flight just take off, and it was crushed on the residential society. So I recently told you that it was the residential society also, and there was a hostel where civil hospitals doctors were staying over there, and that flight crashed on that hostel also, and that residential societies also. Societies people were also very helpful to the survivors, because they took auto rickshaws and more than 9 and 20 patients they have took to the hospital at that time. They were all out of the house to reach for the help. And right now, officially, figure is that by Gujarat government has given that 50 50 patients are in the hospital right now, and there is a arrangement of DNA test those who are died in this crash, but there is no any total figure or official figure Gujarat government has given to us.
Okay, so
we have been waiting for the death toll. Yes.
Indeed, and we will get that information and bring it to our listeners and viewers. Sonal, thank you very much indeed. I think from that, clearly there was a lot of chaos around where she is, making the point that I think 15 people, she said, have been taken to hospital. One would assume they will be those that were on the ground and have at this stage survived the crash scene, those living or working nearby. That was Sonal Andadkat, Associate Editor at TV13 Gujarati in Ahmedabad, which is the scene of this horrendous plane crash earlier today. 242 people on board, including 53 British nationals. And of course, it's a terribly grim emerging story, and at this stage, when you see a crash of this magnitude, you kind of know what the big headline is going to be in terms of the probability of anybody on a plane surviving a crash like this. It's unlikely. The police chief has made that point already. They're talking about over 200 people who have not survived, with 242 people officially on board. And then, of course, there's, as we mentioned, those on the ground. If you crash into a heavy populated area, as this seems to be, there is going to also be people on the ground that will be affected as well. Thank you to her, and more on this as we get it.